Yes, good morning or good afternoon or noontime, evening, wherever you are. My name is Clifton Raheem Bradley. Assalamu alaikum. And you know what? You're looking at the sign behind me because what we're going to discuss is this is a townhouse meeting. We're going to give you a synopsis of what we're going to be talking about. And the thing is, the Republican Party and should Negroes or black people or people of color sit down and take a closer examination of the Republican Party in Illinois and throughout the United States of America because it appears as though the Democratic Party, to a certain degree, they have neglected people of color. Now, we're not going to get into talking about transgender. We're not going to do that. Because we're going to be talking about policies, and when people do start to talk about that, so, that's something I don't like, and we're gonna examine. That is the question: should blacks take a look at the Republican Party within the United States? You have two parties. You have the Democratic Party, and you have the Republican Party. Okay, and we're going to discuss the military. Are we safer under? Will we safer under Donald Trump opposed to former, President Joe Biden? And we're going to look at student loans, and we're going to look at abortion rights. Abortion rights. Did the Supreme Court make the right decision to overturn Roe versus Wade? Did they make the right decision in regards to that? And we're going to look at the violence that is going on in the cities. Okay. And we're going to look at sanctuary cities where people are coming in from different countries and they're getting entitlements that is due for the citizen that's been there for all this. Is that right? Like Chicago. Chicago is a sanctuary city, and we're going to touch on Afghanistan. Okay, and although that is an old issue, that's an old issue, Afghanistan. I'm going to ask the panel: is the United States safer under the leadership of President Joe Biden, or was it safer with former President Donald Trump? Okay, so waiting for them to get in. But like I said, I started the conversation out. But this is what we're going to be talking about. And you know what? You could. I'm going to take telephone calls where you can call in. And this is a town hall meeting. Shit, we start really examining the Republican Party and what it's all about. And, that Mr. Ziff should be chiming in, and Miss Reverend Track should be chiming in, and Miss Owens. But things happen. Things happen. Sometimes things do not work out the way you anticipate. So you know what? Whatever the creator wants, you know what? That's fine. Whatever the creator wants, that's fine. That's all I'm saying. So I'm looking at the political race. There's a political race that is coming up. And you know what? What President Joe Biden? He is the president. He is the commander in chief. Yes, he is. And there were some people that believed that there were going to be other Democrats to run against Joe Biden, which really made no sense. No president that's been elected within his party, this president had other people try to come in and be the president. But Donald Trump is interested. The Republican Party. What is it to be a Republican? What does it mean? What are the Republican values? I'm sure it's more than just holding a flag, you know. And the challenge is when I look at these rallies, the Republicans, I see more. I don't see that many people of color, but I believe that during this election in 2024 that the Republicans will be more inclusive. I believe there's a possibility they will be more inclusive. And this would be a good thing. This would be a good thing. You know what? Donald Trump, former President Donald Trump, I will say something. He gave a lot of money to the HBCUs. He did. He gave a lot of money to the HBCUs. Now I had to tell people while I am talking. You know what? Quick plug for me. Shea My Media Productions in Chicago, and you know we make videos and we do video editing and content. But let me get on off that. But Donald Trump is a very interesting man. And you know what, the Republican Party, I think, is very interested. And you know, for a lot of people that don't know that blacks essentially started off in the Republican Party. Okay, Abraham Lincoln, who was president of the United States of America, what he did was he freed the slaves. You know, hey, I give it to him on that. You know that was a good thing. And then naturally, blacks felt as though they had an allegiance. They had an allegiance with the Republican Party. Yes, they did. You know, good old Abe Lincoln. You know, some say that he really didn't want to free the slaves. Some people say that he genuinely wanted to. It's because if you sit back and look at some of the transcripts with the debates that he had with Hamlin, Hamlin, the guy that was running against him for president, I think I read something the way it said if he could if he could save the Union without freeing the slaves, he would do that. And you know what? That's what I think. And you know what? And I should do more research on that. More research on it. So, like I said, I'm waiting on my guests to come in, and news. I might have to send them other link or something. That is something that I might have to do. And while I'm in the process of doing that, I would like to know in the future, what type of shows would you like to see? What? What would you like to see? What would you like for me to discuss? You know, and Republican Party. There's things that I don't understand about the Republican Party. One thing that I don't understand is, and this is not to bash the Republican Party. I'm asking for somebody to explain it to me, and I would appreciate that. You could explain it to me that Joe Biden, President Joe Biden, what happened is he had a way is he was going to give everyone that had a loan, everybody that had a loan, he said that what he was going to do is he was going to give everybody a forgiveness of $10,000, which I thought was good. I thought that was good my own self. But what I did not understand is why did what I don't understand is why is it that the Republicans oppose them getting a loan? I'm talking about giving people forgiveness from the loans that they had. That's something that I didn't understand. I didn't understand, and that's something to examine. That's something to really to look at. But I think that the reason I think that blacks and other people they need to take a closer look at the Republican Party is because see that big elephant behind me. You need to take it's a big elephant in the room, and the thing is, I think that the Democrats they have a tendency to take people that held allegiance for them for granted. Not while they, not while, not while not while they're getting in office. Not while they're getting in office. I think that once they get in, they become insensitive. They become insensitive, and I think it's sad, you know. And you know what? I think that could change. It could change once. Once it is Lois, I'm going to send her enough other put it in her messenger. Okay, and send her Miss Lois. I'm sending you another link, and I'm putting it in on your Facebook page and your messenger. Okay, and the thing is, I think that this race is going to be very tight between Joe Biden and Donald Trump. And some people say, "What are you talking about, Donald Trump? Donald Trump is not the nominee. What are you talking about?" I don't feel that I don't feel that anybody that is running can beat Donald Trump. I don't feel it. But I could be wrong because Donald Trump is a Donald Trump is a dominant man. He's dominant, very dominant. And the thing is, I just don't see anybody beating him in a debate. You know, because you know what? There's a governor in Florida, and his name is Ron DeSantis. Okay, Ron DeSantis. Ron DeSantis is he's the governor, and I think there's some things about him. You know, he's outspoken, but the thing is, Donald Trump is saying what Donald Trump is saying is that I supported him. I supported him. I support him, and I don't think that he's going to run against me. But I think that the race is going to be crowded, and I think that you know what, this is an opportunity. This is an opportunity for the Republican Party to become very, very inclusive. And what they can do is they show the sanctuary cities and people coming into the country and being entitled to the same rights as somebody that's been here for the rest of their life. That is something that they can highlight that. They can highlight the property that is going on in the inner cities. That is something that they can highlight. They can highlight that. You know, if they really, really want, if they really, really wanted to. And Donald Trump right now is he's having okay. That looks like my guys. Okay, listen.
Hi.
Hey, how you doing? My guests are here, and I'm glad. And you know what? And Dr. Lee Warren, my guests are here, and I want to thank both of you for accepting the invitation to come on the Underground Railroad podcast. And we also do a television show, and every Saturday night at 10:30. But let me get to the point. I'm going to let the guests introduce themselves. I'm doing this in collaboration with Reverend Trash and Lois, and she made a request to make a prayer. And you know what? I'm going to honor that. Thank you, Dr. Lee One. Go ahead, Lois. Okay, she looked like she's froze. Lois? Do you hear us? Okay, and Dr. Lee Warren, I don't know what's going on with Lois. She's freezing out. Dr. Lee Warren, thank you. He does a show called Plum Power Latent Man. It comes on every Thursday. So tell us about yourself, Dr. Lee Warren. Go ahead. I'm listening. I'm listening to you.
I'm the founder of PLIM, PLIM, the power latent in man.
Okay.
You hear me?
Yeah, I hear you. Yes. hmm I hear you. hmm
Okay. Okay. Well, PLIM has
You're breaking up. Okay, you know what? I cannot hear. Now I see Miss Lois moving, and you know what, Dr. Lee Warren, what you have done is you have frozen. You are frozen. You know what? You're like at a standstill to where I don't see any movement whatsoever. And Miss Lois, you might need to come out and then come back in. And Dr. Lee Warren, you probably gonna have to come out and come back in because the thing is, you are frozen, Dr. Lee Warren. And you know what? Reverend Lois, you know what, your internet speed, I don't know what it is, but can you, it's would probably be better if y'all come out and then come back in. Okay? Okay.
You mean
So this is
what do you mean by come out? Are you talking?
now I can hear you. So we're gonna wait on, so tell us, you say you wanted to leave with a prayer. So go ahead, Reverend Lois.
Can you hear me?
Hello? Yeah, I can hear you.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, hello?
Hello, can you hear me now?
Hello? Hello?
Hello?
Yeah, yeah, I hear you. I hear you loud and clear.
Hello, which art in heaven. Hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come.
So,
Let that
but
will be
I
done in
can,
earth as it is in heaven. This day our daily bread, and forgive us our faults. Lead us not into temptation, but deliver us, for thine is the kingdom, power, and the glory forever and ever. Being here today, just being, we ask that you come into this program, Father, and be our special guest. These and all blessings, we thank you. Amen.
okay. And you know what? The Reverend does powerful work with literacy in the community in Chicago, Illinois. What is the location and telephone number? Okay. I don't know what happened. I don't know what happened. So I don't know what's going on. So she'll be back. And Dr. Lee, go ahead. Go ahead. I'm listening.
09, phone numbers 97498.
Okay. And Dr. Lee Warren, give us a background of who you are.
Well, Clem is a TV show. What Clem represents is the power latent within man, and that's the Holy Spirit.
Okay.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I hear you. Yes.
Go ahead.
Yes.
Okay, I'm not talking about that stuff that you see in a lot of the Christian churches, people jumping up and hollering and all that. Now that goes behind this. We talk about that. That's going to give
Go ahead. Hello. I'm surprised.
I don't know what they're doing. I was late.
I see y'all, but you know what? Y'all
What
internet. I don't know.
to talk to you?
Okay. I have the sound all the way up. My mic is all the way up. All the way up. Let me turn this down. Okay, you hear me any better? Okay. So, you know what? There's some type, you know what, for people that listen, there's some type of issue that is going on with the internet.
Yes.
You know what? And I don't understand it, but the powers that be
Yes.
are always working against people that are trying to give people knowledge to uplift the conscious level of the people. And you know what, Reverend Lois, I would like to ask you, Reverend Lois, should black people consider? Why should black people
There he
consider
is.
the Republican Party?
Yes.
Dr. Lee Warren is back. Yes. Why should black people consider the Republican Party? Why?
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. Why? Why?
well.
And I,
If you ask me,
Number one, I know they call it, but I don't know any black. I know negroes or whatever. I know I'm not black. So why do people want to change from? And I'm not white. You know, I don't know what color, but God made all of us the way He wants us to be. So whatever color we are, anybody don't like it, they have to take it to. Anyway, why did they vote change? Would you repeat?
My question is, why should black people consider coming to the Republican Party? Why?
Well, I would suggest that they consider who's ever put some food on your table. I think
Okay.
they should consider who's ever helped. I think they consider we continue to listen to the lies and the deceit of the Democratic Party from back in history. Or are we going to make a change and allow what late President Lincoln tried to do for us to see that we would be treated the same, which we haven't to this day. And the very nice treatment that we do receive as a society of people, black, white, green, blue, or purple, I feel that it's all, it's only from God that we're here, and that the Democrats and all the Republicans had anything to do.
Yes.
Democrats,
You know,
that's on you. D and down and everything down. So rich.
And I'd like to ask you the same thing, Dr. Lee Warren. Why should people of color consider coming to the Republican Party?
I would say,
well, you only have.
I want to say,
well, let me say it this way. You have one option. You've been using that one option for I don't know how many years, as you've been pointing out, ever since they elected Roosevelt in '32, I think it was. So they've been voting straight Democrats, and at the present time, they haven't looked at other options that are available that are available to them, and as a result. I mean, why would you continue? You know, the whole definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over and expecting a what? Something different.
Yes.
And what you have, they've been voting Democrats for I don't know how long here. Chicago. It's a Democratic, what should I say, stronghold. And you're going to see the just the level of corruption is just unreal.
yeah.
And people keep going along with the same damn thing over and over and over again.
Yes.
And you think at some point that would come, if you touch a hot stove one or two times, you refrain from touching it because you don't want to avoid the pain.
Yes.
Now, psychologically, all the pain that they've covered, if you look at the statewide guard and all the stuff they've done over the years, how in the hell do you think you should keep voting for these same people? But yet they do, and they get shafted all the time. And they expect something to do. Maybe we get some. Well, we elected Lightfoot. Oh, we're going to get rid of the crime. Damn crime that went through the ceiling. The Democratic Party now done passed all these crazy laws that people can go to jail and impose no damn bond, and some of the stuff they should be locked up and the key thrown away.
Yeah.
I mean, it's stone craziness and madness. And you look at what you look at is this. In Revelation, they talk about this woman with a golden cup, and it says that this cup have drove the nations mad. Well, that's what happened with the Democratic Party. They done told so many lies, so many just whatever, and the people are just drunk or hallucinated or in a strong delusion that they're going to change, and they never change.
Hmm. I would like to address both of the questions, both this question to both of y'all. Do you think that the Democratic Party takes the black vote for granted? They tell them what they want to hear when the election occurs, but once they get in, they don't want to be bothered to re-election time. Whatever.
That
Either
that's
one of
an
y'all that want to take the question first.
That's obvious. I mean, if somebody come up to you and slap your face, and they do it a number of times, what do you think about them?
Hmm.
I mean, they keep doing the same thing over in your face, and you see there's no improvements. They don't say I'm sorry. They don't repent from what they're doing.
Hmm.
There's something wrong with the people. Matter of fact, not only is something wrong with you, with the leaders, but it's something wrong with you because you have not discerned that you are in an evil case.
Hmm.
Now,
Hmm.
what else do you need these people to do to you? Take you out to the somewhere and start shooting and killing you? They done took just about everything from you. Your finance, the neighborhoods are going down. Those of you who live in the south or west sides, your real estate houses is totally trash because you go up on the north side of the west, a house that costs $150,000, same brick house, same everything. On the north side, the damn thing is $1.2 million. What the hell's going on?
You know what, Reverend? Reverend. Oh, go ahead. I like to ask you the same thing, Reverend. My question is to you, Reverend. Do you think that the Democratic Party has taken the black vote for granted? Do you think that once they get in office, they go right back to what they was doing, and they are insensitive towards, like Tammy Duckworth? She ain't been to innocent in a long time. Do you think that they insensitive?
Well, I tell you about. Let me say this, and I turn it over to the other speaker. You elected a black president. How many times did he come to the hood?
Yes, yes, yes. Okay. You are you are frozen, Dr. Lee Warren. I don't. Yeah, but Reverend, would you address that issue, Reverend?
Well, we have, yes, you're chopping up. You're chopping up. I can't hear you. Can you hear me at all?
Yeah, I can hear you
Can
loud
you
and
hear
clear.
me?
What I would
With the
like to ask, yeah, I can. Yeah, you need to. Could you turn your phone up? Turn your phone all the way up.
Okay, you're cutting up. Your words are cutting up. You're asking me.
Okay.
Now,
My.
I'm not on my phone. I'm on my computer.
Oh, you on your computer? Okay.
Yeah.
My question to you is: do you think that
Now,
the Democrats, huh? Okay. I don't know why we have a technical problems, but I can hear you loud. I hear you loud and clear. I hear you. I hear Dr. Lee Warren
still,
loud and clear.
I heard. Do
Okay. Well, why don't you go out and
I
then
think
try to
that the
come back in?
Democrats? That's all I heard.
Yeah.
Do I think that the Democrats?
Do you think that the Democrats have taken people of color's
Do
votes
you think that
for
the Democrats?
granted? Yes. Okay.
Well,
Hmm.
because the people are doing their own voting, and once they vote, uh, it goes in people's hands, and that's where the manipulation and fraud comes. I've taken total advantage of our votes, and to the words they don't even count.
Okay. Okay. And
Did you
Dr.
hear
Lee,
that?
yeah, I got you. And Dr. Lee Warren, his picture's frozen. I don't know why. Dr. Lee Warren, your picture's frozen. Reverend, you Dr. Lee, you're gonna have to come back.
He's just.
Okay. No, his picture's frozen. But Reverend, I would like to ask you
Mm-hmm.
about the quota system. There's talk about eliminating the quota system. Saying you have to hire a certain amount of blacks, a certain amount of Hispanics. Do you think it's time to get rid of the quota system?
Do I think
So
it's
do
time
you
to
think
get
it's
moved?
time to the quota
What
system?
the
The quota
system?
system. Quota system. I'm talking about the quota system. Do you think it's time to get rid of the quota system? Hello? Okay, you can. Okay, let me get Dr. Lee Warren. Okay. Dr. Lee Warren, do you think that it is time to get rid of the quota system? Do you think
Are
it's
you
time
saying
to
the
get rid of
solar
it?
system or the
No,
solar?
no, the quota system. The quota system. The
Quote,
Republicans would like to get rid of the quota system.
a quota? Oh, okay.
Yes. Mhm. Do y'all think it's time for that? Okay. So they're
Mm-hmm.
not responding. They're having some type of technical problem. I don't. Okay.
Now,
Okay. Oh, let me try this.
no, you're good right now. I can hear you really good. Go on. Can you hear, brother? Okay. Yeah, drink.
Hello?
What happened, brother
Can you hear me?
Warren? Can you hear me?
I can
No.
hear you. Can you hear me?
Now I heard you just then. Yes.
Okay.
How are
Okay.
you?
I'd like to
There we
ask
go.
both.
Now he's
I,
back.
I
There
want.
we are.
Okay. I would like to ask both of you. Do you think it's time the Republicans would like to get rid of the quota system? Do you think that's justifiable? Do you think that's justifiable?
Warren, you go on because I'm not too familiar with.
Okay, let me say
I'm not,
this. Now, remember when the quota system got started?
I don't know what it's really all about, so I don't know how.
That's back. That's back during the civil rights, where uh, the Congress and Senate had a bill had been passed where they had to hire so many blacks. This is just after the civil rights. So it's after the 60s. It's about 60.
Mm-hmm. You're about 60. What was that? 66, 57. Mm-hmm. I can hungry thing up here. Mm-hmm. Can get up there. Good. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, we gotta deal with that because that was definitely what Dr. King wanted us to do. You know what I mean? We bring him in on this whole thing because that's where it came. Mm-hmm. I think it was in 19.
Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
But I hear you. I got you. Yes, I can hear you. But I think
Okay.
we lost Brother Bradley again. But I can hear you. And go on. I was showing these of the Ebony magazine that I had with Dr. King when he was killed. This was 1968. And if you notice, there's about 300, 200 pages in this magazine. And it cost 50 cents back in 1968. You know what I mean? A copy of it made today, it costs you $5 for one page. You know?
That's what I'm saying. That's inflation.
Yes, yes. But I like to add, like for both of y'all to know, the Republicans are talking about eliminating the quota system because they feel that equality has arrived. What do y'all think about that?
Well, like I said, when it was first initiated, you only had black and white in this country.
Mm-hmm.
We're talking about the '60s. You didn't see all these foreigners in here, and so what happened is that as we moved down here, you got all types of foreigners from Asia, from Africa, all over.
Mm-hmm.
See, and you I think you still need it to a certain extent, but not to the same extent. First of all, the blacks are not going to get the same quota that they had in 1960, because that was
Okay.
just because we were only minorities here.
Yes.
Was considered a minority. Now you had the everybody from South America. You got the Asians coming in. Everybody wants their civil rights, so the pie has shrunk. So what we had, just say we had they had to give 20, just say they had to give 20% of the jobs to blacks. Well, now that's probably down to 5 or 6%.
Yes.
So
Yes.
so already the the quota system has already been eroded because they brought in more of the various other minorities to fill the gap. So they had to shrink our part because we had the largest part at one time. So no, it's not going to be the same.
Mm-hmm. It's not going to be the same. What do you think about that, Reverend? Okay, the Reverend, I don't know what happened, but she needs to probably come back and then come back. And you know what, Dr. Lee Warren, talking about the quota system. My question to both of you, I don't know if she can hear me. Is the country safer under the stewardship of President Joe Biden as it was it safer under former President Donald Trump?
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Yes, I
Yes.
can hear you.
There's no question. Just on a domestic plan, as far as the United States covered, during Trump, you didn't have all these drive-bys. The crime wasn't near as crazy as it was now back when Trump was in.
Mm-hmm. So, so the country was safer. What you think about that, Reverend? Reverend? Okay, the Reverend is breaking up. But you know what, Reverend? If you get back to it, you know what? It's just an internet problem. I don't know what the issue is. But Reverend, do you think that the country was
We're
safer
safe
under we were safer under Donald Trump or Joe Biden? Okay.
but every
Okay. You breaking up, Reverend. So you say Dr.
nobody but
Huh? Say it again. Say that again.
It's safe under President Trump. You want that war? The Democrats got in. Next thing they got a war over in Ukraine, and then said, well, over $100 billion, and the people here are homeless. And what the hell? What the hell is we gonna do with the people over there? They gotta sell. We gotta sell out. Let the Russians and the Ukraine. Y'all selling y'all medicine. We ain't doing a damn thing. We got enough with our own problems here. With homelessness, the COVID stuff. We are just overwhelmed by problems. Now you're gonna go overseas and try to dig in somebody else's problems in their household.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. You know what? To both of y'all, I would like to ask both of y'all. You know, what the black people originally started out in the Republican Party, and they abandoned most blacks abandoned the Republican Party, and I would like to know why.
Well, primarily that was due to the Depression when President Roosevelt was in FDR, and he came in and gave them all types of jobs WPC, all these work programs, because wasn't nobody finding no jobs. And blacks got a lot of training during those programs that Roosevelt came in. Training as carpenters, electricians, and stuff. Because my uncle, he worked on one of those programs. Other than that, blacks was catching stone hell because most of the crafts were white people.
Yes, yes, yes. So, Reverend, would you respond to that, Reverend? And Reverend, you know what? Your screen is moving real slow, and it's like can't see, we can see you, but the thing is, can't hear you. You know what? Dr. Lee Warren, do you know what? There are people that are watching. I would like to just know, why should people, black people, negroes, re-examine coming back to the Republican Party?
Well, that's the only option that they have. Listen, you see what happened when Biden got in. Now he let all these people from South America and wherever they came from into this country. I think it's almost 2.5 million people. Listen, we don't need no more people. We got enough to take care of our own. How can you let all these people in to your country and you hadn't fed the people that you got here that raised here and paid taxes and worked here?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Reverend Trask, Reverend, what'd you say to that? And Reverend, I think you need to probably log out and then come back in. And you know what, Dr. Lee Warren, something that's really, really puzzling me. You know, why is it that I believe that the Republicans are strong. They're stronger when it comes to the borders. Do you think that Governor Abbott is wrong for shipping all of these people that come into the country, sneak into the country, to sanctuary cities?
He should ship it wherever he can. Listen, they know what the law is. Nobody is illiterate. Say, and what they would get these people in
what
here.
I think is wrong is being honored they're honored. Shelter, food, transportation services, things that hadn't been provided and has not been provided under town further you can go with the people living in tents. Don't anything out there. It's totally wrong to reach outside and change up your own.
So it is wrong. Would you concur with that, Dr. Lee Warren?
Any politician
Absolutely right.
supports
That's right.
supporting the borders over.
Okay, and that is so sanctuary cities. So Governor Abbott is not wrong, and Donald Trump did something, and I would like for both of you to address it. That once upon a time, the United States of America was supporting nations abroad, military wise, and they were not contributing. That's like me guarding the Reverend's house and guarding Dr. Lee Warren's house, okay? And y'all not giving me any money. What is the reason that the Republicans said that they have to start to pay up if I'm guarding your house, military wise?
Who has to pay up?
These, the nations that the United States they're guarding, they have allegiance with, they give them military funding. But Donald Trump said that you have to pay up towards the defense of your country. Was that right or wrong?
That's right. I mean, you listen, you cannot be the police world for the whole world. You got enough problems here. Now, how in the hell you gonna police people all over the world, and you got serious crime problems here, and making available some jobs and stuff available for these people here, because you done shipped every damn thing over to China and Asia. Now there's no jobs, and you wonder why. Well, we ain't got enough taxes for Social Security. Well, that's your damn problem. You shipped them over there. And you know you got to have some jobs to pay the taxes. Just didn't you know that?
Well, what do you say about that, Reverend? I guess she's listening to me on the delay. But I was trying to find out what did she say about that. And you know what? I guess she'll get to that question. So but you know what, Rebbe? You know what you're saying? Basically, that is wrong. I understand what you're saying. So you said so black should. What is the reason that when I look at a Republican Party rally, I see more, don't see people of my ethnic background there are not that many. And how could the Republican Party be more embracive to people of color?
Well, they could try to get as many in the party as possible, and to elect
Can only be more embracive if they ask them to be more. Giving you some type of support. You know, people are and even having shelter and what have you. We have people there in Chicago.
You breaking up real bad, Reppin. You breaking up real bad.
A long,
Yeah,
a strong delay, yes.
yeah.
Because
Okay. You breaking up real bad, Reppin. Reppin, could you go out? Could you go out of the cubicle and come back in? Okay. You know what? What like I said, Dr. Lee Warren, what do the Republicans have to do to show that they really want to embrace black people, people of color?
Well, they could address some of the important issues that blacks and also other Americans have, like, for instance, low housing,
Okay.
affordable housing. Those are some of the issues that they can begin to address. We ain't talking about building no more projects.
Okay. Okay.
Okay, and also vocational training for the youth. We need people, and we need that in high school.
Mm-hmm.
The vocational, very good basic, so they are available for the 21st century.
Yes. Hello.
Can you hear me?
Yeah. It was somebody
So,
on the phone. Go ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead. I'm listening. I can hear you.
so those are the things, better housing, job training. Those are the things that they basically need to be and to reduce and ship some of these people from. See, the problem is that a lot of industry allows a lot wants the people for coming up here because they can work in these hotels and stuff. These are jobs that are low paying and Americans don't want.
Yes.
I can understand their what we need is the jobs that are technically available to train us. We know the economy is slowing down now. It's slowing down real bad.
Mm-hmm.
So we need a strong vocational problem to get these youth trained and anybody else trained for these positions, and low housing,
Mm-hmm.
affordable housing.
Mm-hmm. I like to ask you something about Donald Trump. I mean, former President Donald Trump. My question is, you made the statement that the United States was safer under the stewardship of former President Donald Trump. I happen to believe that my own self. Okay. But my question is, I would like to know, going back to Afghanistan, I would like to know, why did President Joe Biden leave all of those weapons in Afghanistan? Why did he leave planes in military arsenals that can be used against forces? Why?
Because these what is that, the Joint Chiefs of Staff, Milley, Milley, you can look him up. he told President that it cost too much to bring that stuff back home. So they was
Yes.
going to leave all these advanced weapons there for that we use,
Mm-hmm.
and you think they would destroy them, but they
Mm-hmm.
left them there for the folks to use against us, and it caused havoc anywhere else.
Mm-hmm.
So that's the reason that they say. If you look, you do a search on Google and find out. That's what the chief staff of the Joint Chiefs, the joint, what is that? The chief of the Joint Chiefs of Staff said.
Mm-hmm. And so this is one. That's one other aspect of why people of color and people in general they should really, really examine the Republican Party. Is
Yeah,
because of military strength. Because the United States to be weaker under Joe Biden. Would
that's
you agree?
correct. Yeah, and same on Obama.
So, okay, go ahead. I'm listening to you.
Under Obama, see, the nation was really uh, 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 what did he do? Well, first of all, blacks voted for him. I voted the first time. The second time, I said, "No, I see your colors." He never came into the ghetto one time to talk to the youth or the people here and here, or neither did he. Put it this way: he went to when all these white people got shot up there in New England and all over. He came out and made statements. Went there and visited them. Did any of these people that got shot on the west side, you think he come on the south side and came and visited the people and said what he was going? No, he never did do that. So the people could look. That's one thing they could look at me and say, "Wait a minute, he's going to all these white shootings, but he hasn't came to any black shooting. They all over there. They happen multiplicity of times. So what is his agenda?
Yes. Yes. So
Those are
go ahead. Go ahead. I'm
those are the
listening.
things you have to look at and see
I like that better. All right.
Oh, I can hear
that
you much better
that
now.
there was something wrong with this guy that we all voted for. He's supposed to be the first
Right.
black president.
Right
He
on.
never once stated any of these things on the South
Right
Side.
on.
None of them once stated
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
any of these things on the South Side.
Mm-hmm. I'm listening. And you know what, Reverend? I would like to ask you the same question. My
Hmm.
question is why did President Biden leave all of the military arsenals in Afghanistan? And is the United States a weaker country with Joe Biden opposed to Donald Trump? I don't know if she's saying.
I don't
You better
understand
answer
that
the
question. Are
question.
you asking me a I said, are you asking me a military question?
Yes, 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 yeah, yes.
Well, I think we're a military person to answer that question. I have two military people that we can just to whatever that you want
Okay.
to joke. And so what is the Joe Biden? There's Biden. Now something's happened to my screen saying that it's going to restart or something. Something's going on wrong again. It was going on nicely, wasn't it? Now these are coming around. Okay. But anyway, that my brother who just passed away, bless his soul, T.R.A.S.K, who was a military honorable veteran. And he really, up until, what was it? Day before yesterday, they finally pronounced him deceased. Car while on dialysis on January 3rd. So
Mm-hmm.
they finally released my brother from all that pressure. Thank God. So a lot of our veterans are going. A lot of them don't even have them or even care about them enough to see after. What are they? We have veterans who are homeless
Mm-hmm.
now. Even the veterans don't even have. They will provide a housing anything really anymore, from what I understand. all of the
Hmm.
veterans that I know have gotten together to do something for they've like Brother Sylvester Hendricks. He's one of the veterans. I think he was in the Navy. He's tried his best to get out here and work veterans all over Chicago for many years. And so we can't get my veterans.
Breaking up. And Dr. Lee,
And
what? Go ahead. You're breaking up, Miss Lois. You're breaking up. Dr. Lee Warren. Let me ask Dr. Lee Warren while she's getting that audio together. Dr. Lee Warren,
I'm
what were the Democrats? Oh, go ahead. I can't hear anything. You know what?
Can you hear me?
Oh, I hear you. I hear you loud. Dr. Lee Warren, I hear you loud and clear. Loud and clear. That's no problem. You're not breaking up at all. You know, you know what? Dr. Lee Warren was who handled China, which is a juggernaut. Okay, who handled China better in terms of protecting us against China and the globalization? Was it was it the Democrats or the Republicans?
The Republicans, Trump.
Why you say that?
But Trump put all the sanctions on China as a result of them sending all these cheap goods.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm listening to you. You, Dr. Lee Warren, you got to come in and come out. I don't know what's going on with their internet. So, you know what? But I hear them loud and clear. But the question that was being asked is who was tougher on China in terms of dealing with the trade that goes on between the United States and China? Who was tougher? Was it the Democrats or the Republicans that were tougher on China in the trade issues that go on? Because they're counterfeiting things, and you know what, they're buying up military. They're buying land in the United States of America next to military bases. Who was tougher?
Trump.
Why you say that?
Well, Trump had all types of restrictions placed
I'm listening to you.
and the restrictions was he wouldn't allow a lot of Chinese to work in defense departments, do a lot of other things that the Democrats had allowed. And remember, Biden had no business with China. With China. Now we do know that Biden did. The minute president and his son was over there cutting deals with China, endangering the U.S. Not only the U.S. economy, but also the defense. They were stealing everything and taking it back to China and copying it.
Okay.
So somebody's copying the material that your research, take it back, and then duplicate it. How you gonna compete with it?
Good. I'm listening to you.
So that's it. Trump put a lot of restrictions on the Chinese. And that's why everybody, the media was so hollering against them because the media was slanted toward the Democrats.
Hmm. So this is another reason that blacks and people of color they should consider the Republican Party. Would you agree with that?
They should, but whether they do it or not, that's something else. I mean, what else can you say about the situation? If you just look at the situation from a uh, uh, just from a very critical thinking standpoint, there's no question that Democrats have taken the blacks for granted. That's all you need to know.
Yes, yes, I agree with I agree. And you know what's funny is you know what me and him both have shows, and I've had a Republican on my show and Democrats, and you know something, Republicans were better to me than they treated me better than Democrats. Democrats act like they have some type of entitlement or something like that. You know, acted that way to me. Well, Reverend, do you think? Can you hear me, Reverend? She cannot hear me. But you know what? Can you hear me, Reverend? Okay, I don't. Can you hear me, Reverend? Okay, there's a they're having. You know what they're doing
Yes, I can.
is okay, Reverend. I like to ask you, who was tougher on
I
China
can hear.
when it came to who was tougher on China? The Republican Party or the Democratic Party, and why?
Well, we know it's between Biden,
Yes.
but one of them was the toughest. But they had their own personal on which one of them were the best. So I don't want out on that particular argument dealing with China.
Hmm. Wouldn't you say that there has been both of you, wouldn't you say that there has been tremendous expansion of the Chinese military and forces and growth? Okay, y'all froze out. No, what
I don't
happened?
know. I know that
You don't know?
we come a long way. I know we come a long ways and that, but you can see what's going on here. And we come a long way to these people who were really for us. These people who felt that we were going to stand behind them and we were uh, uh, exactly free and we would yes and what have you. We've never had it. Well, I think the same ones that did this to Dr. God in heaven knows what we're going through. And I feel that be it Democrat or Republican, before it's all over, we want to do what God wants us to do. These people were Democrats. These people were Democrats. This man was the only person that we really had anything really going for us as far as people. We were not being then, not being now. And why? They want to say that we're free. We're not free. We're not free. We're just as much free now. The difference is they're not beating us. They're incarcerating our people, but they're not beating our backs and what have you. And a lot of the people who are in jail right now rather be beaten than to sit up behind bars on that slab, to sleep on that slab. But you see, everybody knows that the Democrats have done nothing for people. And we've been on Democrats, my father, my mother, everybody. They weren't going to do anything but lie. I'm tired of their lying. But look, he left us. He left a legacy of people who were stand-up people. Stand-up people. They stood with him. We don't have these people anymore. We don't have these people. We have evildoers overseeing our lives, giving us an injection that they knew back in 2012. They had already lost a lawsuit. Over 300 people were killed back in 2012. And they came right here in 2021 and what happened? Gave us that same injection. And people are passing away from cardiac arrest now than ever before because of the injection. Over 1,600 died cardiac from the injection. So we can vote all we want, Democrat, Republican, what have you. They're all one line to me, one straight line. And I consider them to be mostly white people, the whole line of white people. And they got together and they cut that line in half. And they said, now, we're going to all of these Negro, color people, purple people, whatever I would call ourselves.
we don't really
And
want we don't really want to say that with
we're going to
YouTube.
be
You know,
Republican or Democratic. The
I'm
line is
talking
cut
about.
in half, and they're all the same. They're all the
I
same. So
mean,
what they do in China, that's nothing to do with our people down south,
yeah,
downtown suffering right
yeah,
now. We're here,
yeah,
not China.
yeah, yeah. Well, I mean,
Dr.
don't,
King
don't
died for people here,
hmm
not China.
hmm
China don't have nothing to do with us getting some food on our tables.
yeah, yeah, yeah. So, so the bottom line, I would like to ask you and Dr. Lee Warren, what is the reason that black people should come to the Republican Party? I'd like to ask you that and Dr. Lee Warren. Hello.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I
Well,
can.
I'd like to know why not.
I can hear you. I can hear you. Yes. I'd like to ask you and
Mhm.
Dr. Lee Warren
I'd
that
like to know why not.
now what
Why not?
give us some reasons, please.
Well, I already gave you the reasons before
Okay.
of what needs to be done just on a for the common folks. That they need housing, affordable housing. They also need technical training. See, these are the things they need to prepare them for what's happening. See, and there are other things that they need to do in terms of when I say training. You need vocational training for the students
Hmm.
that's in high school.
Yes.
Because when
Yes.
these students come out now, they have no training on nothing. They know nothing to do. And when they hit the streets, that's why they carjacking and doing all of the kind of crazy stuff. Because
Yes.
as the scripture, as they say, an idle mind is it's a workshop for the devil,
Yes.
and
Yes.
and that's what's happening. Just building affordable housing, renewing what we have, the old stock. See, there's a lot of houses on the south side of Pullman. They are brick houses. They're not frame houses. A lot of
Ye-
Chicago is not like New England, where there are a lot of wood houses. These are frame houses. Most of them can be what? Be renovated.
Yes.
and,
Yes.
and and you can put students develop to learn that trade. See, there's certain things that you go, even in a highly technical society, that you're gonna need. You got to need a plumber. You got to have an electrician.
Hmm. Hmm. And you need electricity and you need all those things. Robin, what is the I would like to ask you, Robin, what is the reason that black people should consider coming to the Republican Party? Yeah, Robin, I
Well,
like
if
that.
they're tired of suffering, if they're
Okay.
tired of suffering,
Well, you need a
if
well,
they're
you
tired
need a
of,
program
if they
for
want to
that.
change in life, mhm. If they're
So
tired
if
of
that
suffering, they need a change in life. And I thought this program was going to be for to change those people who wanted to be changed, and they could call in and join this change with the Republican Party. But I suggest that they only do that for someone put some food on their table, or someone who's helped them in some type of way. And we talk about what things have people done. For one, I recall that we have, and we shouldn't talk too much on the Facebook, because you know how nobody wants to wind up like Sandra Bland. So we're going to just be quiet. I'm going to yield the floor to someone else. Can you hear me, Brother Bradley? No?
hello,
Yes?
can you hear me?
Hello? I can hear you. Yes.
Okay,
I
I don't
can't
know
hear
what.
anyone else. But anyway, why don't you go on? But go on. You have the floor now. Go on.
No, I said these are the
He asked me a
things.
question. I thought
He asked me a question that, and the same here, I thought I answered it. He was asking what are the things that the Republican Party can do. I said those are the things that they're necessary. You got a situation with the infrastructure of the country. It's falling down. I don't care where you go. The bridges are falling down. The roads are bad. This is a continual situation for people to work, constantly repairing jobs, repairing the bridges, etc. If you listen, you got 100,000 over 100,000 miles of arteries in your body. They have to be constantly repaired every day. So
Yes.
there are cells in the body that does the constant repair. Well, you know, if you got all these bridges and roads and everything, they got to be constantly repaired. You got to pay somebody for that.
Yes.
So why
Yes.
don't these people trained to do that? That's the thing. You got just as many. Almost you need as many people in the army. I mean, as many people in the army, about half or about a third of them. Just all you do is repair, going around repairing stuff.
Yes, yes. So you know what? We're winding down, and you know what, Dr. Lee Warren, can you tell us when your show come on, and if you have any finishing comments that you wanna say anything, please convey that message.
Uh, the Plim Show comes on every Wednesday from 8:30 to 9:30 on Channel 36, and you can contact us at 773-5098 773-509-8124. And yeah, that's 773-509-8124.
Okay.
You can contact us at Plim, PLIM, the number 2.org. That's the site. So you can kind of understand. My only message to this is this: we're going into some real tough times.
Mm-hmm.
See, and I'll tell you, and simply, we're going into a depression worldwide.
Yes.
And a lot of this is done by these so-called politicians that we have elected over the years. They have spent frivolous money on frivolous stuff, and now and printed up so much money, like for the war on Vietnam, the war on the Ukrainian war and the Afghanistan war. I don't think they spent $1 trillion on that war. So if that all had been used for social benefits, you wouldn't have these problems. But nevertheless, that is how our political leaders have chosen to go. And that's the suffering that you're going to have to do. And you have to ask your Heavenly Father for some direction. See, I use his holy name, the Hebrew name Yahweh, and his son Yahshua for some direction, because these politicians, they're not going to come around. And when they come around, it may be too late.
That's true. And you know what? For people that look at the Underground Railroad television show and podcast, I want you to go to his Facebook his Facebook website, because the link is in there, and I want you to, he has great content. And Dr. Lee Warren, I thank you for making the appearance on Underground Railroad podcast.
You're welcome.
Oh,
Anytime.
okay. And we'll be doing another show at 5 o'clock. Mark Sims. And thank you, Dr. Lee. Thank you.
You're welcome.
All right. And Reverend, do you have any finishing comments?
Well, thank you so much for the show. Here, I say that the Bible it speaks of these times where mothers against daughters and fathers against sons, and where we wouldn't be able to know the men from the women. I just want to encourage everyone that we don't know what holds tomorrow. We don't know what's going to happen tomorrow. We know that today. But we're in the end of time. We're in the end of time. And what we do is basically for our children and so forth. Because most of us, especially senior citizens, we do the best we can do. It's up to everyone else to follow through. Either we keep doing the same thing, we'd be 50 years or more, or we change. But I say change whoever has put food on your table.
Yes. So
And for that, thank you. Don't forget about the T.R.A.S.K Foundation, sponsoring the Reading and Math Tutoring program. We have a 68-week program that's money back guaranteed, and it was one sponsored by Mr. Paul Vallis, who's running for office in the Chicago area. And I want to give a shout out. I don't know all the pictures to all the people of my 1968 Ebony magazine. And I share that wonderful man with you all again today, because this man here is the cause of us being able to do what we're doing today. And he died for us to be doing this when the white people could only do it.
Mm-hmm.
But now God is fixing for Brother Brad, Brother Warren to step up.
Yeah.
And what are we going to do now? What am I doing? I thank you.
And you say, and that's, you know what, for people that are looking, consider the Republican Party. Sit down and do your own homework and do your own research. And you know what, and support the Reverend Lois and the Plum Power Lady man. You know what comes on Can Television, and you know what y'all can call Can Television. Plus, he has a YouTube website. I'm going to get that information where I can put the link in there, and his Facebook will be in the description. And watch these shows. And the Underground Railroad comes on every Saturday night at 10:30, and we do video production in Chicago. We do PSAs and we do video editing, and those links will be in the description. And use vidIQ to help you to get more subscribers on your YouTube. And so if you utilize that, use their services, that is helping the Underground Railroad's platform. I have to say that, and make a donation to our PayPal account to help us grow our platform. And don't forget Dr. King. Okay, Dr. King, and I know she got a picture of him with Malcolm X. But I want to thank everybody for tuning in to the Underground Railroad. And the thing is, I will be back on, if it's God's will, at 5 o'clock with Mark Sims. We will be talking about the Republican Party. Okay. I want to thank my guests. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay, y'all have a great one. Assalamu alaikum to everybody.
You're welcome.
You're
All right.
welcome.
You
All
too.
right.
God bless you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Love you.